All right. Welcome to another episode of Learn Easy, the Learn Easy cast. We're now at episode 10. Yay, Rico, we made it to the 10th episode. um, uh, as always, I have my co-host, Rico Lazo. Hey, Rico, how are things going in Denver?
Hey, Pat. Well, Happy New Year. It's good to see you. I know we've both been on vacation, some time away, both from this, Learneezee cast as well as other things. But it's great to see you. And yeah, it's great to have 10 episodes now.
Yep.
I don't think we knew where this was going to lead when we first started, but I'm happy to be here and happy to continue working with you.
Yeah, I'm really happy about that. And we're going to try to put out more episodes with great guests, expats that we can all learn from, and as always, before we get to our interview, we like to talk about what's on our mind. Rico, what's on your mind at the moment?
Well, where do I begin? There's so much that's happened since we've had an episode and so much that's going on right
Yep.
now. But of course, in the new year, I
Mhm.
think there's new hope. And I think it really stems from the fact that, there's a transition of power happening in the United States. Donald Trump has finally been defeated and the votes have been counted and certified. And there's no doubt about what's going to happen in regards to Joe Biden coming into office. But because of all of Donald Trump's ridiculous behavior and whatnot. We've seen a lot happening. The storming of the Capitol,
Yeah.
people dying, passing away, both protesters and even I think a police officer, maybe, and I think another one might be on life support.
Yeah,
So
it's just shocking. I can only tell you from here, from Europe, people are questioning what's going on the level of thinking that there might be a problem in the U.S. in terms of the strength of the democracy. And they only imagine this happening in third world countries.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think we've really lost a lot of our lusters being this, country to hold up in high esteem, with the moral authority of always doing the right thing. But I can't remember the exact tweet or meme that I saw, but it was something to the effect like, "Wow, Donald J. Trump finally did make America great again." He lost the election, and he actually allowed two Georgia senators, Democratic senators, to get elected in the runoff. He is making America great again. So there is a new hope,
It
and
sounds more like a Star Wars episode,
the
where
Death
the
Star
most
is
evil
imploding.
character. Yes, yes.
Yeah,
Say
the
that again.
Death Star is like imploding, and Darth Vader is facing his demise. But
Exactly.
yeah, I mean that's what's going on right now in my mind of what's happening, and there's a lot of details. January 20th, 10 days away, can't come soon enough. And I guess my fear is there anything else that's going to happen prior to that? I've heard rumors of a protest happening before the inauguration.
Oh, wow.
Donald Trump being the child like he behavior that he has is saying he's not going to attend the inauguration. So who knows? But that's what's been on my mind. How about you, Pat?
Well, yeah, the transition was important to us here in Europe as well because we want to have a strong partner in the U.S. here in Europe to help us keep the peace, if you understand what I mean, when it comes to what's going on in the Middle East and all of the wars there. And of course, to see the right wing in America become so strong, that's also a foreshadowing of what could happen here, where I am in Germany, if uh, the right wing party, the AfD here, yeah, Alternative for Deutschland, becomes more powerful, and with Angela Merkel essentially retiring, hopefully, we're not sure yet, but there'll be new leadership for the Christian Democratic Union, CDU. We'll
Is
see.
that her? Is that her political party?
Yeah. That's her party.
Is there younger leadership in the waiting in the wings to replace her? Have they done a good job of developing young leaders?
Rico, what are we talking about here? This is good old Germany here.
Well, excuse my naivete and ignorance, my man. So,
You-
kind of talking about what's life really like, where you
exactly,
are versus where I am.
exactly.
I'm going to plead ignorance and naivete of
No,
uh,
no, no, you're right. Yeah,
Germany's doing the right thing and establishing new leadership that's young, but that's not the case.
no. The three candidates for her position as leader of the party are all elderly white men.
Couldn't be. Couldn't
Yeah,
be.
what a shock! What a shock! Yeah, the most powerful party uh, in Germany has three candidates, and they're all elderly white men.
What ages are we talking about? What age range?
I would say they're all around their mid 60s. No one is over 70. That's the good thing. That's the good news.
Well, surprise, surprise, right? The more things change, the more they stay the same. So
exactly,
yeah,
exactly.
and that's just it. Germany, of course, being one of the most powerful countries in Western Europe. I mean, certainly economically, also politically, and just strategically. All the history and whatnot. It's a little disheartening to hear that, but I guess I'm not surprised at
But
all. But when is Angela Merkel's term coming to an end? Or is she retiring, or what is she doing? Is she just deciding to not run again, or?
I think she could still be the chancellor, but not the head of her party. So we do not know if she will actually decide to run and become the head of her party. Not a head of party, but run and become the chancellor and continue to be the chancellor for maybe another term. But she signaled that at least last year that she would not continue on as chancellor.
But
So
when
yeah,
does her term come to an end? I mean, is it a 4-year term or?
I think that's a good question. I will
I don't
have
want to put you on
to.
the spot. We can come back to that.
Yeah,
But
we'll have to come back to that because I have to be honest. I did not do my research there.
oh, that's all right. That wasn't where we needed to go. But
But I will post something on the podcast to actually give that information out. But I believe this year is the end of her term, so she has to then make a decision of whether she'll run again. This year. Um, Let me say
yeah,
another thing that's really on my mind, right, is you know whether or not these vaccines will be rolled out properly. And that actually leads me to the next segment. Yeah, right. I would love to compare the vaccine rollout. So what's life really like for you, Rico, when it comes to the vaccine rollout, and what life is like here in Germany? Um,
well,
what was going on
I'll
in?
just start by saying that as one can imagine, there's absolute chaos when it comes to the rollout, as there is no unified front or strategy in the rollout. And
Yeah.
I haven't been vaccinated as of yet. Personally, I've actually, because I did test positive for COVID back in November, I was reading it's best to wait 90 days. So I know based on my age and general health, I'm kind of low on the totem pole,
Oh,
as it
yeah.
were. But I've heard in states like Florida, people have been lying about their age to get vaccinated more
Wow.
quickly because in the honor system, you don't even have to show ID. Um, and there's just absolute chaos. I don't think there's really any real plan. I've heard that surprisingly in rural areas, it's been easier to get vaccinated because there's a smaller population and there's just fewer issues. But I know it's just been very chaotic. I don't have specifics,
Mhm.
but I know, of course, the frontline healthcare workers and teachers are kind of first up, as well as the elderly.
Okay.
And they're just, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if there's a national plan that you can just check your social security number and then just see which, phase you would fall into. That would make sense if there's some plan, but there is no plan, as I mentioned earlier, that you can imagine,
Yeah.
because nothing that's happened in the US over the last 4 years has had any real strategy or purpose behind it. So, it's just sad to see that
Mhm.
now that the vaccines are here, there's just not more of a concerted, strategic effort to notify the public on how to go about getting vaccinated. I've heard actually stories, believe it or not,
Mhm.
healthcare workers not showing up to their appointments. The vials have already been pierced to be able to inject the vaccine. This is happening in supermarkets where they're then just approaching random customers saying, "Hey, Pat, do you want to get vaccinated? Because this is going to spoil if we don't use up the doses." Uh,
Wow, that's
yeah, so
crazy.
so there's been a lot, and I don't want to start rumors of everything, but there's just the point I'm trying to make here is that there's not been a national rollout in any way, shape, or form that would allow it to be done in an efficient manner and getting as many people vaccinated as quickly as possible. And that's just a sad reality that we live here in the United States. How about across the pond in good old Deutschland? What's happening with the
Yeah,
vaccine?
sure. In Germany, it's been very not haphazard, not at all. They set up a website, and you could then sign up based on your health and your age and pre-existing conditions. There were certain criteria you had to meet to be one of the first to get it. In the case of my partner, her parents were over 80, and they were able to get on the list very early on. But of course, the announcement was made before the website was really prepared. But that's something kind of typical of German bureaucracy. And then the website came online maybe the next day, and there were not too many problems in signing up for a vaccination, but the lines were quite long. Uh, and like all German bureaucracies, they improve over time. And from what I've been hearing, they've become more efficient with these vaccination centers. So they've set up centers in different cities for people to go and get vaccinated. So it's quite well organized, but there is a complaint that not enough people are being allowed to get vaccinated fast enough to slow down the spread of the
And
virus.
is one of the vaccines more popular or common in Germany specifically, whether it's the Pfizer vaccine or the Moderna or others? Do you know? I know that depending upon the country, there have been certain issues in regards to which one is more popular or easily obtained.
I believe the here in Germany, the Pfizer vaccine, which was also developed in concert with a German startup, is the one that's being distributed at the moment, and they don't have enough of that. And
Yeah, and I don't want to get too much into the details because I don't know specifically, but it's just here. I mean, it's nice to hear that there's some real concerted effort and strategic plan, even if it's a little bit bureaucratic and slow moving.
yeah,
I wish we could have even that level of incompetence versus the gross incompetence that we seem to have, and to just sort of take it as par for the course of what one should expect here under this leadership or lack thereof.
I understand, Rico, and let's put it to put a bow on this. Let's hope that we can continue to see improvement in both countries.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well, is that one of the Star Wars movies, A New Hope? Or
yeah,
something like that?
exactly. Yeah,
Playing off the Star Wars theme, and I'm not a Star Wars. It's not that I don't like Star Wars. I'm just not super knowledgeable. But yeah, I think there's a lot of hope for the future. 2021, we can kind of look at 2020 being in the rear view, a
yes.
year that will live in infamy for so many reasons, not just the pandemic, not just Donald Trump, and so many other issues that have happened. But yeah, so I think now we're ready to jump into the interview for this episode.
Exactly, Rico.
We have an exciting guest who is doing some really amazing things. And
Let's go to the experts corner.
welcome to our Experts Corner, where we interview experts in various fields of learning and education and teaching. And today it's my pleasure to introduce Joel Dominguez, who is the owner and founder of one of the most successful NYC dance studios, JoelSalsa, and one of the biggest online salsa schools, mysalsaonline.com, that continues to grow every month. Since starting his online studio over 7 years ago, he has been so passionate about teaching more instructors how to build and grow their online platforms to reach more people and earn a new stream of income. With over 10 plus years of building a few businesses both locally and online, he can help you to reach your business goals while saving you time and shortening the learning curve. And so, Joel, it's really very happy to have you on our show today. How are you doing today?
Very good, very good. Thank you so much, first of all, for the invitation. I'm very happy to be here.
Well, thank you again. And we're just going to jump right into the questions, if that's okay.
Definitely, yes.
And so
I would love to start this conversation with you guys. I'm very excited.
thank you. And so we always like to ask, where our guests are from. So where are you from, Joel?
I'm from Mexico, originally from Mexico, but I've been living in America for a while. So first I was living in Texas, and now for the last years I've been living in New York, Manhattan, and so in Manhattan. And now these days I moved to New Jersey. Pretty much you can see Manhattan from here.
Yeah, great, Joel. Yeah, it's really I've known you for years, so it's great to get you as a interviewee. And I was always curious.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. You know, I've gone to your socials for many years when I was uh, living in New York, and because this is an expat show, we like to interview folks that are multilingual, right? So, Joel,
Yeah.
do you only speak English and Spanish, or do you speak other languages as well? Yeah.
Just these two,
Okay.
Spanish and English. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. But
Um,
still, I'm still impressed that your English is so fluent. Did you
Thank
um,
you.
did you end up coming from Mexico to Texas when you were quite young, or were you also already quite older when you came to
Uh,
Texas?
yeah, I was thinking more like probably mid twenties,
Oh, mid twenties.
mid
Yeah.
twenties. Yeah, mid twenties, and then I get there, but that was nothing related with dancing, right?
Oh, okay. Interesting.
I was dancing, but the regular home style I call it,
Okay.
and I got caught actually because I was just dancing socially in one of those places that actually caught me. Somebody like invite me to one of these places. Let's go to dance salsa and bachata. It's like, oh, I always like salsa and bachata, but I never find a place in Texas.
Oh,
It's like,
wow.
oh no, you have to come. And then they invite me, and I remember I was coming in. There was a very very small place. Actually, the name was La Huira,
Okay.
like the huira, like the instrument.
Yeah.
And I went there, and people were dancing bachata, and when they were playing salsa, you just feel this Latin energy, not like the other Latin is not like, for example, I used to go to cowboys clubs and stuff like that, because I mean at that age you just want to go out, right? It's like,
Yeah.
okay, whatever it is,
Yeah. Exactly.
you take it.
And so,
But when I start listen to, I mean, I start going to these places, I was
Yeah.
like, oh my god, I was just hooked. It's like I
Oh, you
love
got addicted.
salsa by then, because I always loved the music. I started by listening to the music. So
Okay.
I was dancing, but home style. But the music was always like my passion to hear.
so when you
So
say home style,
and
do
to
you mean like you were already
dance.
dancing? Were you already dancing salsa prior to coming to the US? Like you already had an interest in dancing and moving and dancing?
Yes, yes, definitely. I started when I was like 13 years old.
Oh,
Okay.
I
okay.
started, yeah, 13 years old. I was in Mexico. We call some parties that they do outdoor.
Hmm.
Just the people just put close the street. They put big speakers on the corners of the street so nobody can come in, and just imagine all this sound coming to you like super loud, and they play salsa. And they're talking about Mexico City, right?
Oh,
I'm from
okay.
Mexico
Okay.
City,
Mexico City. Yeah, because I was
so
going to say, I mean, I was just going to say,
I'm sorry.
I've lived in Mexico and I just never really, and I didn't live in Mexico City, but I never really saw Mexico as being a big salsa place. But with Mexico City, there was a lot of salsa happening in Mexico City.
Yes, a lot of people ask me the same question, and
Hmm.
yes, definitely. Even a lot of big bands they come to Mexico City and they have very very warm, I guess, memories from it. And a lot of them, including, for example, Grupo Nietzsche, Oscar de Leon, including El Gran Combo, all these big bands that they used to
Hmm.
come to Mexico, and at least they have one or two songs about Mexico.
Oh,
Mm.
yeah. Of course. Yeah. You're
this
right.
is this is how much they really like it, that they even make songs specifically for Mexico. So yes, in Mexico City is huge. Salsa is huge.
Well, thank you for providing that background. I guess I was very ignorant about the salsa in Mexico City, but ultimately, how did you get into teaching salsa? You mentioned you came to the U.S., you went to this little salsa place in
Hmm.
Texas, but how did you make that leap from enjoying dance and wanting to dance to actually teaching salsa?
I guess the teaching always been in me.
Oh,
right?
interesting.
So one of the passions that I have is of course dancing salsa. Another one at some point when I was like, I don't remember, like very early 20s. I opened my first business was a gym.
Oh, cool.
So that of course I used to go and train myself and educate myself, take courses and everything. And my passion was like to teach other people how to do the exercise and everything, right?
Oh, great.
Then I started dancing salsa, and then like, oh, I figured out like, oh, I can actually teach people. So I educate again myself very well to make sure that I understand everything, take different classes and everything. I'm sorry, take different classes, and then I start just knowing enough to now start sharing it with the people and start teaching them. So again, and just on, right? I start continue moving to learning new skills.
Hmm.
Like for example, right, I educate myself as well on this online world. It's the
Exactly.
same thing.
Yeah.
I started learning them very well for years, and now I started teaching people. I started educating people. So I guess one of my passions, besides just dancing and besides just learning new things,
Hmm.
is also the teaching part.
Hmm.
I think it's one of my passions too, and I didn't realize till a few years ago actually that I was always like, what is my passion? Like, I guess the teaching part. So it's how the salsa. I learned salsa and I teach it. I guess it was a natural way for
Ah,
me to react.
yeah, so it's a little bit of a synergy between when you're able to learn something, you want to share it with others, and then that's how you end up teaching, right? I
Correct.
I gotta ask you though, it's different, right? When you're down in Texas and you have your own school, what inspired you to move to New York of all places? Was that a challenge
Salsa.
for you? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Salsa. Oh,
Salsa.
tell me
Yeah,
about
just
this.
one word. Salsa.
Yeah, yeah, but how did that happen? How did that happen? Because that's not an easy decision to make, right?
Well, yeah, but had you visited
uh,
before moving? Did you have a chance to see it yourself before making the plunge of actually moving?
yes, that's right. Yeah, I came twice.
Okay, interesting.
No, I don't remember if I was twice or three times before to New York.
Hmm.
Right. The
Hmm. Hmm.
first time that I came, that was because we were participating in one of the congresses here.
Of course.
So so we participate on it. We perform and everything, and I start seeing just going around and start seeing things like, oh my god, I'm in love with this. I mean, I'm from Mexico City. It's like this is a city too. It's like, oh my god, this is really cool. I came back to Texas, and then uh, it was my goal to come back. So I came back again, and then the third time when I came back, that was like definitely to stay here. So
Wow.
that I just decided to, the next time that I'm going. So I had to. Sometimes you have to take the risk, right? I
Hmm.
had in school over there, a very popular school actually. The name of, of that school that was Salsa Passion,
Oh, interesting.
and that was the biggest school, one of the biggest. Or people still to today talk very good about that school that I used to have
Hmm. Hmm.
in Texas. So after that, then I decided, okay, I have to decide if I want to leave it and start everything from scratch.
Wow.
So so I did it. I mean, I guess if you don't risk, you're never gonna see if it's
Yeah,
going to
no
work or
risk,
not.
no reward, right? And that leads me to my
Yep.
next question, though. Obviously, people know that New York City is a big city, the biggest city in the United States. But what were some of the challenges you faced, Joel, when you first moved to New York? You had been there previously, you love salsa, but we all know that New York City can be a very tough place, especially when you first get there. I mean, it sounds like you already had a community and friends, but what were some of those challenges for you when you first got to New York?
And one of the challenges, I guess, first of all, is the mindset, right? You have to. I guess a lot of people come here just to try to do what everybody's doing, and of course, because everybody's doing the same thing, it's gonna be for you very hard to just surpass that, right? So you just have to work 10, 20, 30 times more than the average doing, so that way you can at least show yourself a little bit in New York.
Mm.
It's a very tough city, so if people doing this 10 times, because everybody's doing 10 times, everybody's doing 20 times, because that's the reason why they move to New York. They want to push themselves to the best, right?
Hmm.
But when you push only 20, 30 times harder, I guess that means that you have to push yourself 50 times harder
Wow. Yeah.
to do it.
So
So, uh,
yeah.
yes.
So does that mean that um, the challenge for you was basically just to make your whole life salsa? And I do remember you created a social out of nothing, right? The Vieja Guardia, yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
Was that part of the formula that, hey, look, that's how you get yourself known, or what were I don't want you to give away all of your secrets right now. Just like, what was the first focus for you when you saw that, okay, I got to push myself so hard, but what did you focus on first to push yourself to do first? Yeah,
Yeah, I guess uh, now that actually you mention it, a lot of people think that it's a secret, right?
exactly,
But
exactly.
everybody has the secret in them. The thing is they don't want to push it to the max. I guess that's
Okay,
the difference.
okay.
Because everybody has the potential to do things, but it's all depending what do you want to do. Let me give you an example, right? I was talking with my wife. We always talking about business. We always talking about how we can help people, how we can help the students, how we can help other instructors. And
Hmm.
then one of the things that actually stopping you, that's because it came to one of the I'm gonna give you a really quick story, right? How we probably think like that.
Okay,
Actually, two: one from my wife, one from me.
okay.
Uh, our parents, I think they always kind of push us to have a very good work ethic
Hmm.
before anything else, right? So, for example, for her side, is like if you drink a glass with juice or water or soda and then you put it on the sink, it's not allowed. You have to go take that glass, wash it, and put it on their place. Dry and put
Exactly,
it on the place,
exactly.
right? Just simple things like that, that for people probably is like nothing, but it means a lot whenever you start applying it in your regular life, and especially when you start applying it in your business too. Let me give you another example. When I was very young, we start different business. I say we because with my parents they always include me on this business, but they were not like big businesses like successful like wow making a lot.
Hmm.
But there were some ones that actually enough to take the risk to leave your regular job
Hmm.
and do something that actually is for you.
Yeah, exactly.
So one of the stories, I mean, we used to have a little it was a little cart, just like the supermarket cart,
Hmm.
right? And we used to bring oranges, and with this little cart, you adjust everything, all these pieces, so you can make actually orange juice.
Yeah, I know.
So
Yeah,
you set up the thing, right?
yeah,
And then I was probably like 16, maybe 17 at the time,
yeah,
and I remember we used to get up uh, at around 5 a.m.
yeah,
to go to the market to buy the oranges so we can get the best ones, come back home, wash them one by one, right?
yeah.
So then we can go out there and start selling it like around 6:30.
Wow.
So so I remember when I used to see other people doing the same type of business, type of things. You can see on the oranges that they didn't wash them because you can see the dirtiness come from the orange. It's like, it's a no. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So things like that, that they are very small. These extra steps that you doing,
Yeah.
that's what's people missing, and
So what it sounds
and
like
this
to
is
me
what
is
we
saying
think.
like these small habits that you can build, right? I read this great book called The Power of Habit, and it's like by doing these
Yeah.
small things, returning the glass to its place, washing it, drying it, putting it away. You got these oranges, you made sure your oranges look the best. Not only did you pick the best oranges, you washed them to make them look the absolute best. Then you look at your competitors and you knew they weren't doing the same thing. And that just those small little
Yes,
things can help really separate yourself, right? The cream rises to the top,
yes,
if you will.
that's
Very
exactly it. That's what I'm saying. What the secret is, everybody has it on it, nobody applying it.
It's true. So attention to detail and hard work will eventually lead to success, right? And that's not a huge secret, but it's not easy to implement all the time, right? Yeah.
Correct. Hmm.
and so,
It's
so yeah,
about it. Yeah.
so you've talked a lot about, your background, how, you eventually made a move to New York and you started teaching. But what got you into teaching dance online? I mean, obviously, prior to the interview, we were just talking about a lot of this technology and how it's really advancing, especially during this difficult time of the pandemic. Well, what was there one thing that got you into teaching dance online?
I think that was an accident actually, because accident and no accident, because when you get here to New York, especially we used to bags right with you, and then the main purpose was to come to train, and then you save some money, you come to train, and then hopefully you can continue making it right. Uh, then what happened is that at some point you see that nothing is happening, right? And you just find it very very tough. And then I realized that I needed to do something different. So people started inviting me to these multi-level companies. Hey, maybe you can do this and you can do that and do that, and that was not really interested. But at the same time, I wanted to learn a little more the concepts that they were telling me, selling me, right? Which is like the um, I forget the terms in English right now, but it's like freedom, freedom, financial and time wise, right?
Yes. Yeah.
It's a word that you say in all the time. I forget right now, but it's
Mhm.
just pretty much the freedom of have your finance in place
Independence. You
and
kind of.
independence, right? So,
Mhm.
let me just find. Of course, I was looking at Spanish at the time,
Mhm.
que es libertad financiera, which financial freedom.
Yeah.
And then I started looking like, what is that? I mean, I see that they mention every single time of the videos that they were sharing with me. It's like
Mhm.
they mention these words. Let me start looking, and let
Mhm.
me start looking, and I started looking and looking, and I find one book. The name of the book was "Gana dinero mientras duermes," which means make money while you sleep.
Yeah, exactly.
I was like, sounds interesting. This is possible. That will be great.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
exactly,
then
right?
and then I start reading the book and I start mentioning about, okay, in order to make money while you sleep, you need something that sells for you while you're sleeping.
Mhm.
So something that sells for you is only on that online world. You can create a website that actually you can put your product, you can make the sales. I mean, you can make a sales page that actually sells for you 7 days of 24/7, right?
Mhm.
365 days of the year.
Mhm.
So it's like sounds very interesting. So I start learning, and this how I get it just involved into the online world,
Mhm.
and it's like bingo, I can just sell my classes, and that's how everything happens.
Mhm. And that was back in 2012 you started, right? With the online selling.
With
It-
the online 2012, I
Okay.
get probably my first already like courses by 2012,
Wow.
2011, something like that.
Mhm.
So I really involve myself a lot into the learning,
Mhm.
a
Mhm.
lot of study every day, like sometimes spending nights, like I said, the over steps that you do, right, that people don't do.
Yeah,
Uh,
exactly. The
so
details.
instead going out to dance, sometimes like today you're gonna stay home and I'm just gonna just hours and hours, and I just was right here like attached to the screen, just start and learning and learning and learning and learning,
You got it. Yeah.
and that was about it. Yeah.
So Joel, then what got you into now that you've mastered, teaching online for yourself, what got you into teaching other teachers? Like 'cause that's not easy, you know?
Yeah, I see in the industry a lot of potential, but the thing, uh, I try to somehow help other people
Mhm.
because I think right now it even came more handily because now everybody is trying to do it, but because everybody got they just got surprised, right? Like, hey, by the way, now everything moves online. It was like a everybody feel like they just put cold water on their body. It's like wake up. It's like you were sleeping for how many years? This online stuff is been there forever.
Mhm.
I remember, of course, I will not mention names, but I've been talking with a lot of instructors, and they always been telling me uh, that they want to do this online thing. Oh, I had to do this online thing. Oh, I should start doing the online thing.
Yeah.
Oh, I should create my first course online.
Yep.
I'm sorry. And everybody was saying it, and I'm talking not right now. I'm talking about back in the past
Mhm.
because I started a long time ago. So everybody noticing that I was doing the online,
Mhm.
and everybody was like, I had to move my things online. I had to move my things online, but nobody did it. So now I try to use open their eyes that this is the time and it is never late, right? You
Yep.
have to start moving your service, your classes, your knowledge period online, right? You have to use move online because this thing, it doesn't matter if it gets better, if it gets back to normal. I think it's gonna be a new normal, but that's another topic.
Yep.
but but definitely this is something that's gonna stay forever. Like this thing,
Hmm.
what we are doing right now,
Hmm.
everybody learn it in a super fast way, and right now everybody try to dominate
Yeah.
uh, and try to do things, but they don't know exactly what to start, like where to start, like what to do, what they can use, etc., etc. So I guess right now, because I love to teach,
Hmm.
it's like I think I can teach people like me that
Hmm.
whenever we started, I started because I was struggling,
Yeah.
right? So I feel that right now people are struggling too,
Hmm.
but it took me years to learn all this. So what I try to do is make this curve a little shorter for
Exactly.
them to know what to do.
Well, so what it seems like to me, Joel, you talked about this, that you had this passion for dancing, and then you wanted to then, teach others to dance. And then you started,
Yes.
started teaching people how to dance, and then you started to teach online. And so it's make this natural progression. And then like, well, I'm a teacher. I love to share my knowledge. I'm going to teach others how to teach online. And that makes sense. I can see that. But to just end the interview, what would you say is like your long-term vision, right? Do you have a longer-term vision for yourself? Is there anything in the pipeline that you maybe want to share with us and our audience? Or, how would you answer that for your longer-term vision for yourself and your business?
Yeah, I guess my long-term vision will be able to help people that actually taking it, that they want to take this serious, right? And
Hmm.
maybe have, at least for now, as we making this interview,
Hmm.
I would like to help at least 1,000 instructors that they want to move their, they can create a passive income out of their online classes.
Yo, that's
So that, I
different
think
level.
that's a good goal that I see in the future. If I can help more people that actually are able to do this
Hmm.
and charge for their passion,
Hmm.
I mean, I think would be a good goal.
That's a good wow. That's a great long-term goal. 1,000. That's a lot of work. Oh, so anyway, but it's wonderful. Well, thank you, Joel, for the interview. We really appreciate it. And yeah, the Learneezee team, is partnering with Joel so we can help our instructors in the future. So we'll be hearing more from Joel and from Teach Classes Online. And thank you again. Okay. All right.
Thank you so much, guys, for the invitation. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you, Joel, and best of luck with your business. We know obviously during this pandemic, it's a great time to ultimately do a lot of stuff online. So we wish you the best of luck and in sharing your knowledge. Thank you for coming on to our show.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Wow, that was a really great interview. Love learning about Joel and his online dance school and his instruction and his whole approach, his sharing of knowledge with others who want to follow in his footsteps.
Yes.
That was really awesome.
Yeah, and we'll be looking to catch up with Joel in the future, and yeah, just we want you to stay tuned for more guests like Joel, and we do have a couple great guests coming that we've interviewed, right, Rico? And yeah,
Even though we were on vacation, we were still doing work. It's been, fun to now play catch up, but we will be rolling out those interviews in coming episodes. So
exactly.
stay tuned for great guests coming. And it's been great, Patrick. I just love doing the show with you. And I hope that this 2021
Yeah,
turns out and shakes out to be a much better year than
yeah.
2020.
And hopefully we get a couple more episodes out this year. So as always, I want to tell the audience to keep learning easy. And yeah, we'll see you guys on the next episode, right? Yeah.
All right, Pat, till next time.
Till next time.